Hey, good morning, DCS for Disabilities. We're going to talk a little bit this morning about the Department of Veteran Affairs. Let's first decide what is a veteran. Currently, according to the census, there are around 18 million of us. That's 6.2% or around 6% of the population. There are four types of veterans. You're a veteran by service, in other words, your branch. You're a veteran of a branch. You're a veteran of combat or of a war. You're a veteran of a disability, or you're a veteran of other services other than the armed forces. Let's talk a little bit about how many are 100%. According to statistics, about 20%, 1,100,000 roughly, are at 100%. That's 20%. That seems like a lot. There's 13%, 2.3 million roughly, that are homeless. 7.5% are calculated as poor, 1.2 million. How many are in debt? 75 or upwards percent, 13.5, maybe 14 million. And how many of those are struggling? Statistics show 30%, 5.4 million. Why do so many veterans need help? Why are we struggling after being so highly trained? Is it because we're not who we say we are? Maybe there's a small percentage of that. Maybe there's a very small percentage that we can highlight that are frauds, fakes, not really 100%, all of these things that you hear and you see on the news and on YouTube. But let's be honest, oftentimes it's because as veterans, we wait too long to try to get help, or we don't see in our paperwork the things we know we did, and then we give up. We think, well, we can't. They've lost their paperwork. They didn't. I can't be real. I can't tell my story. I don't have documentation. So the claims process seems like a mountain. We're told in the good book that we can move mountains. How do we do that? With faith of a mustard seed. What is that? Well, it's a little bit of good sense, military bearing, and some friendship, some knowledge, being informed like we were in the military. We were highly trained. We were not robots. We were taught to be autonomous at times and think for ourselves. So during my crisis, I realized some things I couldn't articulate very well. So the first problem I had was, how do I articulate to the VA? Well, I sought outside help. That was, I thought, smart. However, I went through many methods. First, I tried the VA. I went and I got so much resistance from just an individual, not the VA, who was corrupt. He was very corrupt. He was absolutely corrupted to his core. He hated all veterans. He felt like he was greater. I experienced that. I think many of you did or have. And so he tried to shut me down. There was problems, and that was interpersonal. That wasn't the VA. He was using his stature in the VA to corrupt me and not give me what he thought I didn't deserve based on his limited knowledge of who I am and what he thought I did. I couldn't articulate well to him. So I left that system. I got minimal help from them, and I went about being myself, which was a gladiator. And I worked hard, and I continued to work hard, realizing that the only person to help me was me. And then later I tried to get an attorney. He was a good man. He just, I think as smart as he was, he realized the process was shit, and really tried and worked a long time to get there, which to some may have seemed like he was dragging me. He was not. He was just trying to help, man. He really meant well. He means well for other veterans. And counselor, I appreciate you, brother. I know we had problems, but you worked hard. I had to fix it for you, though, because I was smarter than you in this area alone. So now let's share how I beat out an attorney. Basically, it was because the guy had to do too much work to get the information from me. He had to jump through hoops and hurdles, and basically none of that was real. So let's talk what was real. What was real was the facts as I could display them. How to articulate them was a problem. What format did we use, or how can we use it to relay our message to the appropriate people and not just get a rubber stamp? Well, it's hard to express in one video. I'm going to have further videos discussing how I went through personally this claim process and how I managed to get right where I am today, which is awarded everything I deserve and ask for, nothing more, nothing less, and when to get it and when to seek it. You guys jump in at the 100% right away. I want 100%. Let's be honest and let's have real talks, veterans. You jump in as 20-something-year-olds or 30-year-olds and you want to go straight to 100%. That's the first issue. Maybe you're guided by an attorney on that, maybe a family member, maybe something, maybe just need and necessity. You just want it all. You felt like you deserved it all. That's not fair to the VA, man. If they would have paid me out of the service 100%, it would have been too much money. I wouldn't have been old enough to handle it. Maybe I wouldn't have worked hard and became a bum. I don't know. I just know this. I got help as I needed it, when I needed it, and then when I couldn't get help, I went to the Office of Inspector General. I went around the system. I went to the AIG, to the OIG, and I didn't stop until I got the answers I needed, because the last thing was on my mind was suicide. I was accused of being in crisis and always suicidal. But in reality, I was bumping heads with my government. And that's not good as a veteran. We shouldn't bump heads with our government. We should be able to communicate and effectively. So that brings us to ourselves. First, I had to internalize what was in my way of communicating. It was basically forgetting who I was and what I was trained to do, which was troubleshoot. So I started to troubleshoot the process. I realized the VA needed help. The VSOs need help. The DAV needs help. The Legion needs help. The VFW needs help. You guys think these guys are just partying and having a good time, and so did I. And I judged them, and I looked at them, and I troubleshot their systems. There are some problems within those systems, but basically you've got a group of men who are alone trying to do something good to draw attention to their cause, and then ultimately help a veteran get their claim process done and get awarded what they need so they can live a full life and be active and not commit suicide or any measure of self-harm. We need those veterans, all 18 million of them. We need them. We need them in the workforce, and when we can't have them in the workforce, we need them as mentors and philanthropists like myself. Somebody out here giving you the real scoop, not dragging you through the mud, not sensationalizing themselves on YouTube. I'm not shouting people down or accusing people of things. I'm pointing out facts here. The facts are most of the YouTube channels I saw couldn't really help you with your claim process. They just haven't. I tried to use them. I got some good insight and I got some information, but most of them just wanted to tell you how to get to 100. Well, I'm going to tell you how to get your claim process started. If you're worth 100, that's for you to decide and the VA to confirm. So how do we do that? First, we have to analyze ourselves, fix ourselves, and then become aware of our service and remember correctly. Sometimes that's very problematic. For me, it started out that way because I was injured, I left my squadron, it didn't appear to be on good terms, I wanted to stay in, I tried, I couldn't, all kinds of things. I missed my military. I loved them. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to retire. I wanted everything I got today to be mine as I earned it the entirety of the way, not giving it to me at the end of my life. But that's where we are, and so what do I do with it? I do this. I try to help you as veterans understand the process a little bit. So now that we know some of it is ourselves and some of it is the bureaucratic system, how do we overcome it? We have to become informed. You have to look through resources. You have to get a computer. You can't just sit around saying, I'm old, I'm not going to get on a computer, or I'm not going to get on Facebook, or I'm not going to join groups. I'm going to be segregated. I'm only going to go to this place. I'm only going to be a part of this group. And then I'm going to sit around and smoke and coke and diddy-bop around, ignoring things, and then bitch about them. So I love the DAV. I love what they're doing for sure. These gentlemen are really working hard. There's not a lot of them, and you think that they're rich, and you think that this organization is a business that's got millions. It does not. It has real needs to be able to function, and what it needs is its members. We pay $300, we become a lifetime member, and then we think the DAV should fix it all. Well, guys, that's our problem. There are men and women within the DAV trying to fix it all. They're alone. They feel alone. They're lonely like me and my friends in Discord trying to help. Started with just one, me, then 2, then 3, then 12. We seem stalled, but that's not real. But what it is it's just a time compression. Time goes by fast, time goes by slow. Things start evolving. Well, Do we quit because we didn't see an immediate effect? Are we a drive-through window mentality people now? Or are we hard-charging veterans and military members who know how to work hard and get through a process and come out of it good and okay and better? Yes, we are, or we're not real. And if you're not a real veteran, give it up. Quit trying to get our money. Know what the rules are. Figure them out. Look for the codes, the laws, the CFRs, right? Find out what Title 38 is. See if you even qualify. And then don't let the face value of no tell you no. Look at why. If you're in the reserves and it says something about you're not worthy or something like that, or you felt that way, look through the process of the codes deeper and find out what the exclusions are, the waivers. If you're on a process of National Guard and you don't feel you're a veteran, but you were activated and you were injured during that activity and you have paperwork, or how about testimony and you lost the paperwork or they didn't put it in, you have friends, connect with them. Surely they're around, and if they're not around, know this. As a sworn, honorably discharged veteran, your word is gold unless they can prove you otherwise. Titles, chapters, codes in 38 will rectify this for you by showing you, if you read them and understand them, that your word after making a statement in support of claim shall be taken as law unless they can prove you wrong. Well, I tell you right now, if you could articulate correctly and show backup as to doing a Google search with resources and citing them, what your job was. If it says microwave technician and you assume that the rubber stamp guy at the VA knows what that means, you're wrong. He'll think you was a Hot Pocket guy, that you just heated up meals for people. Go do research. Pull up what years you worked. Pull up that job description. They're out there. The information is full of good stuff, but we're focusing on the bad and we're on the wrong schedule. We're looking for Facebook and politics and shouting and yelling negative things to fix things. Look for the positive measures. Troubleshoot. Use your mind. Get clear. If drugs are in the way, figure out how to get off of them. If bad eating habits are slowing you down, figure out how to eat better. It's not expensive to eat better. It's expensive to waste your dollars on garbage food and satiating a need through depression, overeating, validating your fears, and understanding them, and then telling yourself the truth is where it starts. The truth shall set you free. So be honest with yourself and analyze yourself. See what's the problem. Are you not getting the right attention because you're not asking the right questions? Figure it out. And then, if you have gotten fully informed, you can start your claims process yourself. You don't need me. You need to understand what I did. So, we'll start with what did I do? I fixed myself. I got myself at least into the mental health department for sure. I couldn't get physical help. That my physical needs had become too urgent to deal with the VA. They're very reactionary and not proactive at that. It takes you a long time to get in touch with them. Those are facts. Those aren't conjecture. I live it. Everyone does. And we very seldom do we get addressed proactively. They make us wait till we're absolutely suicidal and in crisis, making bad decisions before they even attempt to hear us. We have to call a hotline that goes, I want to kill myself, help me. And then they show up with the police at your home. Well, let's not get into all the reasons that's problematic. If you're in a bad way, law enforcement shows up, you're not expecting it, you're just trying to have an interpersonal relationship with someone that'll hear you because you're alone, this could be bad. VA, your hotline stinks a little bit sometimes. I've experienced it, and I'll tell you more about that when I talk to the OIG today, okay? All right, so we want to be proactive. We don't want to wait till it's in crisis because then we can't articulate. So fix your house first, get yourself right, and stay tuned for more. I'm going to talk about more things about how we use the codes and how we get to the process of identifying whether we even are qualified, and let's do that ourselves and not let some lawyer try to tell us. He doesn't know, we know. And if you know you're not qualified, don't bother, don't waste their time. All right, folks, we'll get back with you. Peace.